Do you believe that our human brain functions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? However, it stops. That moment when you were asked to stand in front and speak. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests, do you know the reason why we stop thinking? It is because of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. That is why in the early days of our civilization, the ancestors of our ancestors were taught to conquer fear. Because fear stops us from doing things far from we could ever imagine. There was a story that they usually tell to their children. A timeless tale back in Ethiopia of a boy named Niobe. Niobe was a young boy who was so shy and fearful of the world around him. He was so fearful that he was tagged and branded by his villagers and family, the frightened one. He was so upset, but at the same time ashamed because he knew that he doesn't deserve to be called such. After so much contemplation, he decided that he must find a way on how he can conquer fear. At that night, when all the people were fast asleep, he packed his bag and set out to the world to find out what he's afraid of and to conquer it. That night, he slept in a wide umbrella of sky. Before drifting off, he stared at the darkness and whispered, "I see you, but I will conquer you, fear." He slept wrapped in a blanket. But at midnight, the wolves began to howl. Ahoo! The sound woke Niobe up. But instead of running away, he walks towards the sound until the sun began to rise. And when he saw the golden orb, he smiled with relief. I am becoming brave. And then he walked on. Soon he reached a village. But he was a little bit hesitant at first. I don't know who these people are. The people might be unkind to a stranger like me. But he straightened up and said, I'm here to conquer fear. And he entered the village. And when he reached the village square, he met a number of elders muttering among each other. And when they saw Niobe, they sneered, "Who are you?" "My name is Niobe, and I came here to find bravery." "Fool! No one finds bravery where it does not exist." "What do you mean?" "We're finished. This village is cursed. This village is threatened by a giant monster up there on the mountain. Can you see him there? He said he's like a giant crocodile. His body is like a gigantic hippopotamus. He's like a dragon with fire shooting from its snout." Niobe followed the old man's gaze, but he saw nothing. However, as the old man spoke, he suddenly saw the smoke, the fire, the wrinkled skin, and the fiery eyes. But Niobe told himself that he will not be afraid. So he went away from the elders and investigated more. The whole village was a total turmoil. The kids don't want to go to school because of the fear of being eaten. The farmers just hovered in their houses because they doubt about their security. No one planted crops. No one tended the animals. The whole place was totally devastated. And so Niobe decided, I must conquer fear, and I'm going to slay the monster up there. People were trying to stop him because they thought that he's going to die. But Niobe was so determined. At the base of the mountain, He said that I'm going to conquer fear. And yet, he felt chill running down his spine as the monster grew bigger, fiercer than any dragon or a pack of wolves or the nest of snakes. He doesn't want to be afraid, and yet he remembered those days. He climbed up the mountain. As he climbed up and looked, the monster suddenly becomes smaller. How peculiar. My eyes are deceiving me. He climbed again, and the monster grew smaller. And halfway, the monster no longer breathed fire, and its eyes are no longer scary. And when he reached the top of the mountain, just to make sure that he's prepared, he pulled out a dagger from his bag. And he saw nothing. He was so puzzled. Probably the monster will be ready anytime for attack. Left and right, there was totally nothing. Until he heard a small sound. A frog. Wrinkled skin. But their eyes are not scary anymore, but frightened one. He picked it up and said, "What happened to you?" So he cradled the monster, the small monster, in his hand and bring it to the village and showed it to everyone. And they named the monster Fear. Ladies and gentlemen, this story may be made up, but the story that it brings and the lesson cannot be denied. It is our fear that stops us from doing things. That's why we are not successful in life. I also have some, and I'm trying to conquer them one after another. May it be public speaking, trying to attend a new sport, starting your own business, or probably gaining the heart of the woman you love. There will always be a risk. And fear will always be there. However, we need to be on top of it and eventually be a winner in our own right. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be the frightened one. Mr. Toastmaster.